Hi there, this is Mr. Howard from the audio engineering class here at Grant High School. I'm going to show you how to use a program called Reaper. Reaper is a free DAW software for Mac or PC. So I'm using a Mac right now. You're going to be using PC, so hopefully there aren't too many differences in terms of the way things are laid out or anything internal of the workings of the preferences and whatnot. The very first thing we need to do is make sure that your Microsoft headsets are selected as the audio device input. So the way we're going to do that is go to Reaper up here. Hopefully you can see that. Go to Preferences. And we need to make sure that under Audio Device that we have the correct input. So click on this pull-down menu. And you should have Microsoft Live Chat selected. I'm not going to do that because it will change. You won't be able to hear me in the recording. So you'll have that one selected. I have this one selected. So then go to Apply and then click OK. All right. So the next thing we need to do is tell Reaper where we're going to put the audio. Click on Track here, pull down menu, and insert new track. So that was insert new track. And that opened a new track here. The very first thing we need to do is to make sure it should have defaulted, but you can see there's this little gray pull down menu that shows what the input is for that track. We just need to make sure that it's input 1. It should default to that if you have done the other step correctly. So then we need to arm this track. By clicking on this little red button here, that arms this track for recording. And you could see that as soon as I did that, we suddenly have audio metering up here and down here. That's good level right now. If it is turning red at the very top, that means you're clipping and you need to turn your volume down on the input. And if it's too low, like if it was all like really far down there, you would want to find a balance. You want something right in this area. That's a nice hot level. So let's record. Pretend you have your script ready for your podcast and you want to begin the recording. You would just click on the master record here and it's going to start after some amount of count in. All right, and here it goes. We can see that our waveform has begun and it's recording. So this is good levels. These are good levels. Let's pretend that you're finishing your podcast. I don't need to talk too long here. You would want to then press stop or the space bar. And that's going to stop your recording. You get this dialog that comes up saying, do you want to keep it, save all, or do you want to delete it, delete all? I'm going to save ours. Okay, so now a couple of little things to make your recording sound more professional. You can do some fade in and fade outs on your track, which will ease the listener into the audio. If you mouse over the waveform on the end here, you'll see you get either this icon, which is like a little cursor, or this icon, which is for doing a fade in. So let's say that you wanted the audio to start right here on this line. We can click here on the edge and then drag over. And now it's going to start the recording or start your audio playback from there. Let's say you wanted to also fade it in so that it went from nothing to the beginning of you talking right here and a nice smooth fade in. So if I drag up here over the waveform, we have our fade in tool, and I'm just going to make a click and drag, and I'll fade it in. So it goes from, you can see the little red line, it goes from 0 to 1 at a nice smooth logarithmic curve. That's perfect. That's nice. So that's our fade in. Let's do a fade out as well. Fade ins and outs can be as long or short as you want them to be. Let's say you're fading out a music track, it might take place over a greater amount of time like that. And this is, you can see time up here in this gray bar here. That'll show you where you are on the timeline. I'm skipping some of the stuff that might be important in the future, but this program is very intuitive, very easy to use. And if you want to learn more about it, you could always take my class. Let's say you also want to add some music that is part of the intro or whatever else is going on in your podcast. You could add a new track. So go to New Track, insert New Track, and let's say you wanted to put some music in there. You go to Insert and Media File, and you just go find wherever the file is that you want on your computer. I'm not going to do that now, but we could. And then you'd find it, click Open, and it would put it into this track. And you would have independent control over the volumes of your vocal part of your podcast and the music by changing that relationship here. These are your faders. You could turn the volume down on the voice or turn it up if you needed to. All right, one more thing before I let you go here. Sometimes it's necessary to do what's called using audio compression on voice. It kind of smooths things out, makes it easier to listen to. I haven't done that to this video that I'm making for you now, but you might find that it's necessary. So you do that by going to Effects, and this just smooths out the sound of the voice. So I'm going to go to my little search bar here and type in COMP, or comp for compressor. And I can choose this one here. This is a good one. REA comp. Select it and then press OK. And when you are playing back your audio, if I decided I wanted to actually use a compressor, you press play and then it'll show you here your input. And what we do is we can adjust this threshold value, so that the peaks of your audio, when they're coming in, like, let's see, it's going to start in a second here. We would want the peaks of the audio to be where the threshold is. And then we'd set a ratio of about 4:1. That will be good. We're not actually hearing it right now because I disabled that. But we can see that whenever the audio goes above the threshold, it lowers the output volume. That's what this bar here was, showing the gain reduction. And this is just makes for a smoother sounding recording and a little cleaner, more modern. All right. If you need to know more about that, there's lots of YouTube videos about how each of these controls work, but that will get you going. All right, I'm going to close that. So maybe the very last step would be I need to render the file, or I need to make a master track. So I can select all of the area that I want, maybe like that. There we go. Okay, that's all the audio that I want to render. And then you go to File and Render. And I'm under the impression that you need to have your output format be an MP3. So here under Output Format, after you want to put the file name in here so you know where it is and know what it's called. I have Test for Mona, all right. Output Format, MP3. You could choose some of these other lossless formats, but we want MP3. It's a smaller file size. And then the only thing you need to make sure is the bit rate here. It needs to be at a higher level. You don't want really low bit rate. It'll sound really bad. So choose a bit rate somewhere around 192. Really anything above 96 will sound nice. I'm going to choose 192. That's a good internet format, or internet file type. So then go to Render here. And it looks like I had already tried this, so I'm going to overwrite it. And there was our audio there. Notice that there was something going on before that where we didn't see anything. You don't want that to happen. You make sure that you're selecting the right area. All right, back. and you're done. That's it. Reaper.